Some of you guys' favorite films, because every film that we found that has had some of your stuff, some samples from y'all.
Everybody's different.
Well,
I think all of our musical tastes are different. I think Kevin has the biggest background. He had an enthusiastic lifetime of searching for music and finding it, and he has like arguably like the best collection. But then if you go around Rave and Ogre and myself, then we splinter off in our own groups, and each other sort of likes the other people's groups. But if you went through all our bunks right now and looked at our CDs, what everybody bought, it'd be different. He's working hard on this stuff, and I love all of this stuff, but he works a lot harder at it.
Film's different. We all like different films too. He likes some. We all like the same things, but we all really like different things. See, because we like a lot of stuff. I think that's our problem. We get inspired even by things that we hate. We can hear something we just hate. We hate it so much that we can love it. You know what I mean?
I was just wondering, does every film that we've seen that has some of your samples from it, it's all been really great movies, like Communion or...
oh, well, those particular snippets come from an interest in the, the film as well. Because I think like the Evil Dead series and like all those sort of classic horror films to us were immortalized in our music because they sort of like were a part of our life at heavy doses at one point. I mean, we would watch the Videodrome six, 7 times a year. We'd get together. We'd watch Night of the Living Dead like every once a month. We'd watch The Exorcist. I mean, just for the simple fact of how interested we were in the fact of all these people collaborating and actually the final product being something that's not commercial and not really too nice. It's a real barbaric sort of artistic contribution. It's something you don't get anymore. You don't really get people making those type of statements anymore.
Just out of curiosity, I've never been able to find it. Which movie is the sequence from 200 years from? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with everybody in this crazy place?
Twilight Zone.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's from an episode?
It's from an episode, yeah. It's the episode where the guy lands on the planet, they land on the planet and everybody's standing still. There's people on the Earth, but it's a mortuary for lost souls or something.
Don't lose this brain to this.
What power each one of us is afforded, we'll be able to bring each one of our different areas to hyper because of the technology. So those structures will remain in place, but I think that like it's always important to have those non-technical people being able to have the one search control, since the mouse or turntable or the sampler, it's been made easy for people to get into, and usually that's a lot of the fringe or where the newest, coolest ideas come from. On one end, of course, there's the veterans that use the new stuff too, but I mean, I don't know if a veteran would have come up with like something maybe as wacky as like the new bubblegum techno. I think it's pretty sophisticated already that people can sit around and listen to vibrations and actually calm their soul and like do something about their fucking lives because of music. And it's even more ridiculous to actually go out and get these instruments and start doing it yourself and being able to like find a whole life just in vibrations and being able to like find a whole variety of emotional states and recreation and whatever. It's a whole culture that's more enticing and more real and gives you something more to believe in than what's being served up to you or being sold to you all the time, and you're just so sure that you better drink that beer because you want to get fucked because that's really important right now, and you know, it would be foolish to think that this influence is not there, because it is. It's like I say about the magazine, just there already. Things are like changed different. Like if you're doing a thing about Bush and you can have him talking at the same time, you can have like a carefully prepared statement that somebody at the newscast is reading, and then just a picture of him like frowning, like, you know, looking like he's working hard or something, or you know, like it's all, everything's posturing, and if those guys don't know about the president and have a highly sophisticated, psychologically based marketing team, like a publicist team that's as careful as all of the videographers who would video and photograph butts and asses and sell them to kids, then it sounds highly cynical, doesn't it?
The reason we watch TV is just to get a dose of the reality that's
the
out there.
propaganda, the pumped out.
Just to be aware of what's going on.
Yeah.
But being able to like have the bullshit meter like be able to come on loud and clear for you,
Right.
without I mean, and that's the trick of it, without becoming so like untouched. When something comes across there that's provocative to you and really gets you, and that of course kind of comes into that hard question. I mean, I can get really cynical about beautifully photographed bodies, but there's a whole other argument, I mean, that's just as strong, that's like, hell, there's nothing more beautiful than a human body. Yes, why shouldn't we photograph it beautifully and make it into art? Well, then there starts getting more questions and more answers. Well, when it's like this, well, how come some people like this? How come everybody's different? How come it's such a big argument? How come there's no real answer? Yeah, I figured out, I mean, for the longest time, you think that everybody should be able to get turned on whenever they want, and of course the truth about it is there's many people's jobs that don't allow for that, and some people who don't need it or desire it or whatever. Basically it comes down to responsibility, and I mean, through the years it's been sold to us in many different ways, and I think, I mean, the government war on drugs is a war on itself, and I mean, on its own people and on itself, because it's the government that's making lots of money from it, from the sale of alcohol and cigarettes, and there's way too many like problems, like contradictions in there that are full of shit. But that it's always, I think it will always be accepted, and it's long accepted, that the weird artistic people will be doing it and getting whatever off of it, because they don't have to. They don't have these other responsibilities. And it's a tired story, because it's just happened so many other times where people walk down and like, they get all weirded out and they have to like walk away from it. But that's if there was no risk, there wouldn't be any dynamics to it either, or reward. And yeah, you can say, well, some people can get in a car and drive all the way around the entire planet, soak up all that there is, and never have one car crash. And so what do you say about that? Well, in a way, that's kind of mythical and kind of like a great thing to think, to be able to do that and not get hurt. There's always going to be some risk in what you do, and we do look up to those people who can take the risks and be able to survive. Oh, that was what I was going to say also. You just reminded me about what I was going to say about that savior and of the technology, and how that person is one who has this extra bit of knowledge or specialness that can be spread to all the people, and all the people can reap the reward of this savior.